Fishin' Affliction. Hello.
Well, Mom and Dad's grab the kids, it's time for the fishing show. Me and old Rusty's gonna go catch them down at the fishing hole. Well, you better stick around, cause you don't know what you're missing. Yeah, me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Grab your hats, grab your baits, and don't forget your poles. We're gonna fire up that old nitro boat and head to the fishing hole. We're gonna try to catch a biggin'. Yeah, that's what we're wishing, cause me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Yeah, me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Yeah. Man, and we've got it bad.
Just like me. Here, fishy, fishy, here, fishy, fishy, here.
Hey guys, we're on Old Hickory this afternoon. Just started, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There are fish still on bed, even though I guess the daggum flood messed them up or whatever, but there are still fish on bed. There's fish coming off bed. So the flipping bite's pretty good, as well as the worm bite and spinnerbait bite and several of the other bites. But anyway, we'll be flipping a jig, flipping a rodent, a couple other baits today, and try to go through some of the stuff we're doing. And you really got to keep your eyes on that line, because a lot of the bites are not a very aggressive bite. The bites are just a subtle bite. It's like picking up and you've got a leaf on the end of your rod, you know, and just a matter of keeping your eye on the line and watching that line, because a lot of the fish will just barely tick your line to the side or whatever, and then it's time to set the hook.
Well, rise and shine, folks, it's Fishin' Affliction time, and the big dog just introed exactly what we're doing on Old Hickory Lake. Looking for those fish up shallow, on a jig or on a plastic. And when you get that bite, making sure you set the hook.
There he is. I don't think that's a big fish, but it's the first fish. Whoa, that's the rare black tail bass. I've never caught a bass with a blacker tail than that.
Folks, flipping a jig is just so much fun, because you never know when you're going to hook into Godzilla. Wow, what a fish.
You know what? That's one Brother Bill Dance would be proud of right there.
That is a big old fish.
That is one Brother Bill Dance would be proud of. Come over here and give me my Strike King jig back, buddy. Come here and give me my Strike King jig back. Oh, you big boy, you.
Big dog.
Let me stand up. My heart's about to give out on me. Son, you know what? That's what I refer to as Godzilla.
Big dog, the official largest largemouth, has officially been caught on Fishin' Affliction.
I don't know. That fish will go 6 pounds anyway. That's a toad. And I just got this out of my mouth about 2 seconds. I ain't caught but 1 4-pounder in the last 2 weeks fishing. And I told him, I said, I'll bet you I catch one over 4 going down this one bite.
Well, folks, the big dog's got a good idea where these fish are going to be today and what they're going to hit. And he loves pursuing them with a jig and a flipping stick in hand, getting that thump and setting that hook.
Another good solid. Come here, big dog. Come on up here. That's what 20-pound line's good for. Huh, come and talk to me. I'm gonna tell you. Ooh, he would have throwed it easy. It's another good solid Old Hickory fish. Good solid keeper. And we're gonna box a few like we normally do today. And as you can tell, we'll be flipping the rodent, we'll be flipping the crawl, we'll be flipping a jig. But these fish have been on out here for about a week, just really hitting pretty good. And a lot of good solid fish. So guys, if you haven't been able to make it out here, come on up and see Mr. Flipper and put in or go to the lower end and see blackjacks, and you'll have a good time.
Well folks, the Big Dog and I are off to a great start on Old Hickory Lake, fishing some plastics and fishing a jig. But the Big Dog has always got to mess with something in the wild, doesn't he folks? Last week that snapping turtle, this week the snake. One of these days, Big Dog, they're gonna get you. Well folks, speaking of in the wild, let's go see some great pictures from this week's
In the Wild. Your pictures in the wild.
Folks, this week's In the Wild pictures come to us from Shady Cove Marina up in beautiful Castilian Springs. Now, on the far left, that's Dorothy. On the far right, that's her son Keith. And smack dab in the middle, that's their dear friend Harry. And the one thing that these friends have in common is they've got that fishing affliction. They absolutely love the fish. And if you've never been to Castilian Springs and to Shady Cove Marina, do yourself a favor and go on up there and go see Miss Lucy. And she will serve you the finest catfish that you've ever eaten. I'm telling you, it is just unbelievable. Thank you so much for the pictures. Folks, you can send your pictures to pics@fishandaffliction.com, and maybe you'll see them right here next week.
In the wild. Your pictures in the wild.
It's kind of like this, all over, like that.
Maybe kind of like if you kind of steady, and if you pop it a little bit, you know.
There's no way I'm going to do that.
I believe it's like this.
Yeah, it's kind of like this.
It's like this. Then it's going like this.
No way.
Kind of like this.
The sexy swimmer, it's got action you can't believe until you see it.
I'm kind of liking this.
Got it bad. Want it bad.
Folks, if you've got it bad and you want it bad, you can own any episode of Fishin' Affliction for just a low price of $5. That's right, $5 for any of your favorite Fishin' Affliction episodes. And if you want them all, then we've got a great offer for you. The entire season 1 of Fishin' Affliction for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. That's right, folks, all 13 episodes of season 1 of Fishin' Affliction for just $19.95 in a beautiful packaged DVD box set for only $19.95. Unbelievable, folks. To purchase this great deal or any individual show of Fishin' Affliction, go to our website at www.fishandaffliction.com to the online store for this incredible offer. Any individual show for only $5 or the entire season 1 of Fishin' Affliction for just $19.95. Fishin' Affliction, for those who've got it bad. Folks, while the Big Dog's flipping that jig, let me tell you a little bit about the Bass Pro Shops gear list that we're using today. First, our 7.5-foot medium heavy Kistler rods spooled with 20-pound Bass Pro Shop Excel monofilament. Now, our Strike King baits that we threw today was a variety of jigs and plastics, and all of them worked extremely well. And keeping the live wells running and that trolling motor humming, those Deca Gel Series batteries.
There's another good solid chunk keeper. You know, that reminds me of a big old fish I caught one time. Had a black spot between his head like that. Well, it was about that big. That's another good, it's a good solid keeper. Right at a 15-inch fish. Good solid keeper. Now we're going to turn this one back because we're just going to catch enough fish today that I don't think we're going to need this one on our final stringer. But anyway, there's just a lot of good solid fish like that hitting out here, man. And I mean, it is fun catching them right now.
Big Dog, can I have a jig just like yours?
If you say pretty please, you might have one of my premier Strike King.
Now this is how much you love the co-host. Hey, flip this tiny tube. Hey, flip this, flip that.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll flip what you're flipping and you flip what I'm flipping.
I like it. Let's swap up.
All right.
All right, man.
Well, folks, you got to know the Big Dog wasn't going to give up his jig.
He did find one for me, but went back to his pole, picked up his jig, and caught another largemouth.
Another Old Hickory. I don't think it's a 14-incher, but he sure like my jig. Good fun fish, good solid fish, man. And we put in at 4 today, and it is 440 right now, so I'm just letting y'all know how good these fish are hitting out here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at those stress marks on that fish. Boy, these fish are not wanting to give me my Strike King jig back now. Now I'm gonna tell you what now. You guys cannot have my Strike King jig. You just can't have it. And look at these. These are all stress marks from where they've been on bed or whatever. But we'll put this in the box.
Folks, while the Big Dog puts another good Old Hickory largemouth in the live well, let's talk about the presentation of these jigs and these soft plastics. Folks, if there's one thing the Big Dog excels in, it is delivering these baits with a pinpoint accuracy in this type of cover and this structure. As you can see, this is some thick, nasty, gnarly stuff. And the fish are actually in the densest part of this stuff. Now, you pick apart this cover by starting on the outsides relative to what kind of water you have around you, whether it's deep or shallow. But when it comes time to placing that jig or that soft plastic in the exact position you need, you have to be able to do it on your first cast, because subsequent casts can absolutely scare the fish away. Always remember that your best cast is your first cast. And when it comes to throwing it into this thick, dense, gnarly, nasty stuff, the Big Dog is just one of the best you'll ever see doing it. And as for me, well, I get lucky every now and then.
That's another good chunk.
Nice one, huh?
That is a good chunk.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, really nice fish. Yeah, good solid. He's got a bite out of his tail, doesn't he?
Something took a chunk on him. Boy, he hit the jig and he was running. Hey, all right. We'll catch another one.
Well, that was, I think, our 5th keeper so far, and we've been out here about an hour and 10 minutes.
About an hour, 10 minutes. I like it, Big Dog. Put that camera down. Let's catch some more.
Well, here's a little fish. Pitch back in that little tree, boy. He ate it, though. Little bitty fish. Tiny, tiny, tiny little fish. You like my Strike King jig, though. I'm gonna tell you, man, a lot of these fish are just little small males or something. You'll have them hit you and you won't catch them, you go. You know, most of the time that's what it is. It's a small fish or a lot of these brim or what I call these war mouths. They're a real pretty kind of a shell cracker. There's a lot of those that'll actually eat your jig. So usually what I do about that is I set the hook. I don't care what it is. There's one. Oh yeah. Jump a daddy. Jump a daddy. I like that when you jump like that. Come on up here, Big Dog. Yep. Another good solid keeper. Well, come on up here. Well, you know, look, buddy. Put that one in the side of the mouth. But I got it. Good 14.5-inch, 15-inch fish. Another good keeper. Just not the size we're hunting for our stringer weight.
Well, folks, as you can see, the Big Dog is continually flipping that jig into some really dense cover. And what's about to happen next is a great lesson on what to do when a bass gets hung up in some cover.
That one has crapped me up so bad, it ain't funny. Hey guys, let me tell you something. When you see this fish and he's jumping all over the place and he's wrapping me up, let me tell you what you do. You don't panic. You let him swim himself out just like that. And that's a good solid fish. A really good solid fish. Now fish, you was pretty smart, but I was just a little smart. You get to go get your picture made. Meet Big Mama.
Folks, the Big Dog and I are having fun out on Old Hickory catching these fish on these jigs and soft plastics. And in a moment, we'll be back with some more great fishing action on Old Hickory. But right now, let's go see what Miss Vicki Porter's got cooking this week. In the Skillet with Chef Vicki Porter is brought to you by Cleepy.com, turning your precious memories into video treasures.
Welcome to In the Skillet. I'm Vicki Porter, and today I'm going to show you a great recipe for enchiladas. This recipe is in honor of our wonderful friend Ed Pinkston, who made the best enchiladas ever, and I am lucky enough to have his recipe. And now for the ingredients. You will need 1 pound of ground hamburger or turkey meat, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 package of small flour tortillas, 3 tablespoons of minced onion, 1/2 cup of chopped jalapenos, 1 can of enchilada sauce, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, and 1 14-ounce package of shredded Mexican cheese. First, in a skillet, brown your hamburger meat, your onion, your garlic, and your jalapenos. While your hamburger meat is browning, mix together the cream of mushroom and the enchilada sauce. Heat that up and get it mixed together good. Once your hamburger meat is brown, we're going to fill up our tortillas. First, we'll add the hamburger meat, then some cheese. We'll roll it up and place it in a greased casserole dish. Now we're going to continue doing this until our casserole dish is full. Pour any remaining meat mixture over the enchiladas. Next, pour the sauce over top of the enchiladas and the meat mixture. And last, layer the top with cheese. Now this is ready to go in the oven, and we're going to bake it at 350 for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you'll be ready to enjoy some of the best enchiladas that you've ever had. You can find this recipe at FishinAffliction.com. I'm Vicki Porter. Tune in next week to see what's cooking in the skillet.
Hey, what do you think about these? Shaw Grigsby likes these, but Denny Brower looks awesome in these. You know, a lot of people don't know that Strike King is the #1 importer of packaged polarized sunglasses in the whole entire country. I've seen Mark Davis wear these, and I like them a lot. They're awesome. But you know what? Me, I have got to have my monsters.
Tournament Trail for those who've got it bad. Brought to you by Fishin' Affliction.
Folks, here's the results from Flipper's Sunday morning tournament held out of Bull Creek Marina up in Gallatin, Tennessee. First place went to the team of Miner and Miner with 14.80 pounds. Second place with 14.75 pounds was the team of Lewis and Messer. First big fish went to Mr. Jason Miner, and it weighed 6.15 pounds. And second big fish went to Mr. David Elrod, a 5.6 pound fish. Great fishing, guys. Congratulations to the winners. And folks, you can send your tournament results to info@FishinAffliction.com, and be sure to check out the tournament archives at www.FishinAffliction.com.
It's time for Fishin' 101. Brought to you by Deca Batteries.
Welcome to Fishin' 101, and this week we're going to talk about lubricating your reels. If you want to pick up performance, this is a great way to do it. Really inexpensive, and it's something that is often overlooked by us anglers because a lot of us think that it's a big ordeal, but it's not. 2 little places of some grease, and you're going to get better performance out of your reel. First, let me tell you about the type of lubricant that I like to use. I like to use a grease-based lubricant over oil, because the grease doesn't dissipate like oil does. this grease will actually stay on up to 75% longer than oil-based lubricants will. Also make sure that your grease has Teflon in it because that helps with the protection of the metal. Now let me show you where to put the grease. On most baitcasters, you have access to two critical areas to grease. First, the line guide gearing spindle, which is normally accessed by looking underneath the reel. And secondly, the line guide post that allows the line guide to go left and right. Now, just take liberal amounts of grease in these two areas and get several cranks, making full revolutions, making sure that the spindle goes left and right, making sure that the line guide goes left and right a couple times, and you will be in business. You can improve the performance of your reels up to 25%. And how important is that if you're going to make several thousand casts in a day with deep running crankbaits or flipping jigs? So important to make sure that you keep your reels greased properly. And that's this week's Fishin' 101.
Oh, Mr. Bass. Come on. That's a little chunkier fish there. That's a little bit bigger fish. Buddy, would you like to go in my live well, or would you like to go away? Okay.
Well, folks, as you can see, it's a lot of fun when you're catching fish. And that's exactly what we're doing out here on Old Hickory. And the big dogs having fun.
Guys, I'm going to tell you what, it's just fun out here right now. You'll catch a lot of fish that are just that good solid chunk like that right there, man. I mean, you come out here, you catch you 8, 10, 12 of those a day, that's a fun day fishing. I don't care who you are. You end up catching Big Mama while you're doing it, that just makes it all that much better.
Well, folks, there's no doubt the big dog's been having the fun, and most of it. But now it's my turn. Looks like we got another one, big dog.
Oh, that one ate that Strike King jig, buddy.
Yeah, look at there, huh? Look at there. Boy, top of the roof of his mouth. Look at that.
That's a good one, big dog.
The stress marks, look there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good solid fish. Good solid fish. Good job. Boy, there you go.
So much fun.
That's Strike King jig will catch him, big dog.
Well, folks, I've got to make a confession. One of my favorite ways to catch a bass is on a jig, especially when the bass jig came from the big dog.
Now, I'm going to tell you what now. That's the second or third fish you caught behind me now. I might not give you no more jigs.
I know where you keep them, big dog. I know where you keep them.
That one come right out of that tree, didn't he?
Right there.
Boy, that jig's prime for dense cover.
It is. Works good too, man. Ain't nothing like it, is it?
Prime for dense cover.
Well, as you can see, we are working some pretty thick stuff and having some good success doing it. And the day is starting to wane on a little bit, but we are not done catching some more Old Hickory largemouth.
Come on, big dog. Dance for me. Dance for me, baby. Well, it's getting a little darker now, but fish hadn't stopped biting, have they? Have they, Brother Dan?
We are still at it.
Yeah. Come on, big dog. Another little bass. Another male. It's starting to get dark, but we're going to fish up to the last minute because in these low light conditions, some of these big females will hit.
Well, folks, when the big dog tells you something, it comes from years and years of experience. And he knows what he's talking about, because look what happened next.
Oh, that's a good one, big dog.
Did you just say low light conditions?
That is a pig. Look where that thing ate that jig, man.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what a pig.
You know,
oh, what a pig.
I gotta give you the credit, man. You said, I fully expect to come down through here. Is that a beautiful fish?
That's a good fish.
Beautiful.
Ain't nothing bad about that fish. That's a good one, buddy. We'll put him in. We're going to catch us another one.
Yeah, yeah. We got one in the live well like it. So let's put that. Unbelievable.
Let her go.
That's awesome. Let's catch another one. Well, folks, hasn't the fishing been just great on Old Hickory Lake? We fished a little bit more, but we didn't catch any. But I want to tell you something. We had such a great time out there, and it's moments just like this that I absolutely am so thankful, and I feel so blessed to be out there on the water, especially with the big dog. He's just fun, so knowledgeable, and he's quick to share his knowledge with you. And that's just a great testimony to him, just wanting someone like myself to be a better fisherman and sharing that also with you. Well, let's take a look at those fish we caught.
All right, guys, look at this. These are some of our keepers from today on Old Hickory. Some good fish. I'll tell you, man, it's been a fun day.
Has that been awesome, Roy?
We've had a good day. Anyway, I'm gonna let this big old sow go. Let her go. Ooh, they can bite at that size. You know that? They can bite.
Yes, they can.
I'm gonna tell you guys, man, this flipping bite's on over here on Old Hickory. Spinnerbait bites on. There's not a bite that hardly isn't on over here. You need to come on over here and get you some.
You stroked on them today.
Well, we've been catching them good, and Lord blessed us today. We've been catching a lot of big fish. We've had a fish over 5, I think, the last 4 to 5 shows. So.
And this one was a 514.
Yeah.
514.
He was 6 pounds. Y'all have a good one, and come and watch us next week on Fishin' Affliction.
Yeah, make sure you join us next week when you see the big dog say.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Woo-hoo.
Fishin' Affliction is brought to you by Strike King Lures, Kistler Rods, Deca Batteries, and Bass Pro Shops. Thanks for tuning in this week, and please join us next week, because there's no doubt.
Yeah, me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Grab your hats, grab your baits, and don't forget your poles. We're gonna fire up that old nitro boat and head to the fishing hole. We're gonna try to catch a biggin'. Yeah, that's what we're wishing. 'Cause me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Yeah, me and old Rusty's got that fishing affliction. Yeah. Man, and we've got it bad. Rusty's catching today.
Now, I'll tell you, I'll bet you anything.
Here, watch it like
you'll
this.
hit a Strike King bait. Let's go.